I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, one, that I can go campaign on and say we did. One. Anybody sitting in the complex, if you want to come down to the floor and come explain to me one material, meaningful, significant thing the Republican majority has done besides, well, I guess it's not as bad as the Democrats.
That is Republican Chip Roy, who, very clear statement to his colleagues. What did we do? And the answer is not much. So if you take a look at the actual number of bills that have been enacted by congressional sessions, this is a standout year. If you jump up, like any one of these years, you could say on this chart that not enough is being done, the priorities are all wrong. But that first term for this congressional session, there was almost nothing. And by the way, that chart makes it look more productive than it actually was. Because even of that very small number of bills that was enacted, they were basically like nothing bills, uncontroversial, passed by unanimous consent, renaming Veterans Affairs clinics, minting a coin to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps. I'm not saying that that's not important or whatever, but I don't know that it necessarily is gonna make or break a lot of Americans' lives. And so you kind of had this year, no federal government. In large part, like you had the executive branch, maybe they got some stuff done, but you got a look at what happens when you don't have functioning government. And for some people, that seems like an objectively bad thing. I just want everyone to bear in mind that there are a lot of people who are doing very well under the status quo that don't want there to be a functioning government that could potentially be upset the apple cart. But really nothing was done. Some of the stuff that was done was just obviously a waste of time, censuring Jamal Bowman and Rashida Tlaib and Adam Schiff for a whole bunch of nonsense. The long drawn out process to get Kevin McCarthy in, and then the long drawn out process to replace him with another schmo. They tried to cut Pete Buttigieg's salary to $1. I don't like, was it about the train or was it about the paternity leave? I'm not even sure which I would prefer as the rationale for that. And now they're turning to impeaching Joe Biden. So it's looking like next year might be less productive than this. Francesca, what do you think?
I mean, on the one hand, we always say Republicans don't actually care about the American people. They don't care about doing anything that would help them in terms of the economy, like raising the minimum wage, like making it easier to form a union, making housing more affordable, education more affordable, nothing like that. They don't care, right? Extending the child tax credit. There's a million things they could do to actually help people, put money in people's pockets. They don't want to do that. And but the real thing that this reveals that's so sad is that they got everything they wanted, all right? This is the kid that got 50 presents on Christmas and is so bored that they're just like, I don't know, now they're just stealing stuff. Like they have gotten everything. They got their $2 trillion tax cut. They have a far right Supreme Court that stripped women of our reproductive rights. Like just completely gone. They caught the car and now they're dealing with the ramifications because some of them are under the wheel because they see that the electorate is not happy with them. But more broadly, they've gotten everything they want. They got their wish list, John. So it's like, on the one hand, I'm mad. On the other hand, I'm like, God, what else is there for them to do?
Yeah, and that is a question I think we should end this hour on. Especially to any conservatives, because I understand there's a lot of leftists that I think are rightly suspicious of why the Democratic Party accomplishes so little when they're in power, and understands what the Republicans are trying to get done. But to the conservatives out there, you've already shown that you are willing to conceive of people like manipulating things behind the scenes. But if you were a billionaire or had $100 million, what would you do to maintain that money? What would politics look like if you were in charge and already had everything you wanted? Just think about that a little bit. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.